Hello everyone, welcome back to my game recap of round number 4. Today was a very special day because I managed to finally play Najdorf opening in Najdorf Memorial 2024. Yes guys, I was playing from the black side against a young player from Poland only. His name was Bartosz Pribliski, I guess so, the pronunciation. And well, he started with e4. Before we go further into the game, I would like to say that this game was really crazy, and as usual there were a lot of ups and downs, and well, finally, after mutual round of mistakes, you can say blunders also, we played very interesting game. And as my opponent said after the game, that he made one move which was the biggest mistake of his life. He was saying like blunder or something, but that is life. That is what the game is all about. Sometimes we play good moves, sometimes we play bad moves, but the life goes on, tournament goes on. And here the game starts with e4. I'm playing from black side, so I played c5 because until now all my opponents were playing d4 or something else. So I was very happy to see e4. Before the game I checked out, there were very few games of my opponent, so I saw that he plays knight c3, and even if he plays knight f3, he doesn't allow open Sicilian. He plays some g3 or some other stuff. So when he played knight f3, I played d6, hoping that maybe he will play knight c3 or g3 as he had played earlier. But today, to my surprise, he decided to play d4. And then I said like, okay, today is the Najdorf day. So we arrived at the position. Najdorf is the position, and here he played bishop to g5. So as I was completely clueless about what he's going to play against this thing, so I said like, okay, let's keep it simple. I played e6 move, he played f4, and then I played queen b6 immediately. So now he played queen d2, and I felt like he is kind of ready to go for poison pawn variation, you can say, like queen captures b2, rook b1, queen to a3, and then rook may be coming to b3, or maybe he can play f5, and the line goes like knight c6, you capture on f6, bishop f6, knight c6, this capture, this, and so on. Like, this is a very big theory is there, so I'll not go into complete here. E5 is actually the best move, and as far as I remember, d5, and then they capture here. And it's a very long theory, many games have been played in this line. So I thought like maybe he is prepared for that thing, or maybe he is waiting for that thing, I will say. Like, means I knew this line, but I thought like today let's confuse him, because he was playing too fast. So I thought like let's confuse him a little bit, and let's see what happens. So I played a dubious move at 6, which is not a good move. Okay, means, to be honest, maybe he could have just simply captured here, and the position is kind of tricky. I had played this kind of positions earlier also with this pawn structure, keeping the king in the center of the board. So I was confident like I will get at least some play. Means I was not scared about like I will not get anything. So he played bishop h4 instead of capturing on f6. And after that I developed my knight to d7 square. Although queen into b2 was always the option, but I did not go for the poison pawn purposely. And knight bd7, he could have just long castle in the position, which I was thinking like maybe he'll play, and maybe I'll go for bishop to e7, and the normal game will go on. And but here he played f5. Then once he played f5, I thought like, okay, he wants to capture on e6, but the pawn on f4 was controlling the square on e5 square, right? So I said like, okay, my knight is ready to land on e5 square. This is a very beautiful square for my knight, and believe it or not, in the game also I actually won because of this knight. Knight, centralized knight is knights are very important. He played bishop e2. He is preparing for the castle, you can say. I said like, okay, I also want to castle, so I played bishop e7. Now there is a threat is there, like if you castle or something in this position, then knight e4 is a very nice idea in this position, attacking the queen. And if you capture back, then we can capture on e7. Although it is not that easy position to play from both the sides. It's interesting, like white has lost a pawn, but he has two knights in the center of the board. I am kind of behind in development, but once I castle, I think black will be fine. So I was like ready to play that move, but he did not castle. He played bishop f2 in this position, which was kind of not that great. Means according to me, long castle is something which he should be playing. I think maybe he was scared of I'll be going for b5 b4 in future, so maybe he did not go for that thing. So He played bishop f2. My queen was under attack. Here I was thinking about castling very seriously, but the problem with castling was that, or here in this position, another move was also there, that knight g4, knight e g4, or any knight g4. The point is, if he captures here, black can actually go for knight in, white can actually go for knight into e6. The problem is that my queen is under attack, and no matter by which piece I capture on f2, if I capture queen f2, queen f2, knight f2, he has this knight c7 check and king d8 in order to control this knight into 8. And the even if I capture on h1, I will say that king can come to e2 square, and then once that rook will be capturing the knight, and this knight will definitely come out, means this knight is going to also support here, so white will be having better position according to me. So I did not go for knight, and one more thing, if I capture with the knight, that also will not be working, because knight d5 is a very beautiful move in this position, attacking here and also threatening knight c7, knight captures a8. So I did not go for knight g4, which I was thinking will be possible, but I played queen c7 in this position. Maybe castling was one of the moves which was possible, but I did not go. Or queen b2 was also one of the moves. So he played h3, stopping knight g4. I played bishop d7, just going for the development. He castled. I played b5 because I need to create some play. I need to play b4, attack the pawn on e4. He played a3, stopping this thing. I said like, okay, it's time for rook to c8. But later in the game, I was feeling that b5 maybe was not that much good in this position. Maybe I should have waited for b5 to play. Maybe I should have played just rook to c8 in this position earlier instead of b5. But nevertheless, that was played, and a very surprising and strange move was played by him. He played knight f3, and I was completely shocked. Why on earth is he moving? He's moving the support of f5 pawn. I did not understand. I was thinking, like, I thought for a while that why he might be playing it, why he might be giving me a pawn, but then I realized that maybe it's just a mistake. I captured the pawn on f5 and I'm pawn up. He again attacked my bishop, and here my initial thought was like knight e4. That was my initial thought, but then I felt this thing that maybe he'll just capture here, and the queen can come in the game, and this bishop is also not that great. I mean, that was a possibility. I was thinking about it, but after some thought, I said like, okay, I'll just save the bishop here, and he played bishop h4. If I castle, he was ready to play bishop captures f6, f6, and then knight d5, and he is ready to capture on f6 and disturb my pawn structure, you can say. And even if I play queen d8 or something, knight can be. But then after some time, like, I did not play this thing, I did not calculate that much, but after some time when I was analyzing the game, I thought like, why can't I just move my bishop to g5 square, and once my bishop will be, because even if he captures on c7, I can capture on d2 and I don't have any issues. And if he moves the queen anywhere in the position, or if he captures here, I am still better. I am just pawn up, and my pieces are quite good. Like, maybe he'll play c3, support the knight. It will not be that easy for me to crack down the position, but pawn up is pawn up, like I can continue. Maybe I could have castled, I should have castled, but I did not castle. That was my mistake. So I played knight e4 in this position, going for the exchange, and now at least I should have captured on h4, which I was thinking, but I was kind of nervous about these two knights sitting in the center of the board, attacking here. Some weird thing I was thinking, that maybe he'll play queen f4, I have to come back, and then a4 will play, the pawn is weak, and so on. But then I said like, okay, let's capture on e4, which was not that cool, because after this it is more stronger now. A4, I cannot capture because the pawn on a6 is hanging, the rook is under attack, and even if I attack here, he can capture the pawn on a4. So I was not going to play that thing, and if I push my pawn, that also was not working. Saving the pawn was also not working, because if I play this, let's suppose he'll capture on b5. If I capture on g2, then he'll capture on a6, queen a8 or something like that might be one of the possibilities, but I was not that convinced to go for this variation. Okay, so here I say like knight c4, I'll play, attack the queen, and if he captures here, then I don't have any issues. I'll next move, even if he attacks, I'll just play this. Even if he plays this, I can just castle in the position, and I'm out of danger, means I don't need to worry. But here he just played queen to f4, and then I castled, and he captured on b5, and here I was expecting him to capture here, to be honest, but he did not play that move. And surprisingly he played bishop g4, and I was down to just 5 minutes or something in this position. I thought for a while, I thought like the pawn on b5 is hanging, so why not just play rook to c5 in this position. And it is not just about saving the pawn. The point was like I was ready to come on g5 and put some pressure over here, and maybe I can play f5 also. So I played rook c5, and miss okay, rook e8 was the best move in the position, just holding on to the position, and it is kind of equal, you can say. But after rook c5, he started thinking. My opponent was having around 5 minutes, you can say. He started thinking in this position. I was not understanding why is he thinking so much here in this position. He is having so much less time in the position. So then I realized that, oh, he is looking at knight e6. That's an incredible move, because after knight e6 I cannot capture. And as the time was going on, I realized that, oh my god, he's going to play knight e6 in the position. And he played it after 2 minutes of thought, and I was already on very low on time. So I thought like very fast, and then I realized that capturing it is not good, because white has a very good option: queen f8 and bishop e6, intermediate move. If I move my king anywhere, he'll just capture here, and he is just exchange up in the position, so I cannot really capture it. So what to do? If I move my rook, I'm just exchange down. So in hurry or something, you can say, I was kind of thinking to bluff. So I realized some very interesting trick in the position. I was thinking about g5 move, okay, but g5 was there, but I thought like he just can capture the bishop on e4. And I was actually thinking like, if the queen is not here, I will capture the knight afterwards. But how to deflect the queen? So in order to deflect the queen and not to give up the bishop on e4, I thought like, why not sacrifice the bishop for a pawn and then think about it. So I captured on g2, which was not a good move, okay, to be honest. It was not a good move. Maybe rook e5 was the most solid move, and I'm action down, but I feel like I will just might be just losing in the position after some time. So I need to bluff, and I was like, both of us were too much low on time. So I took my bet. I played bishop into g2, because I saw that after king g2, I'll play g5 now in this position. If he captures, of course, I'm getting the piece back. And queen d4 was something which I was thinking like was one of the best moves in the position, putting some pressure over here. And if I capture now in this position, the e5, e6 pawn, then he can again go for rook into f8. And or he can even, rook into f8. And if I capture over here, bishop into e6 is coming, and I think my king is very badly placed. If I king comes here, then rook a7 check is also coming. I think it's almost getting over, right? So I did not go for this thing. So queen d4 was one of the best moves in the position, like, but f into e6 was not possible. After that, I'm just section down in the position. So, and piece down also, by the way. Queen d4, if he had played, I'm just lost. So here he played queen e4, which I was actually expecting him to play, and he was already down to 1 minute. I played rook to e5, and he was thinking, and in last few seconds of his calculation something, he came up with the move. I thought like he's just going to move the queen here, okay, and then I was thinking about capturing here, and I thought like, okay, I'm action down, but I have 2 pawns, and my knight is also there. Maybe I can go to knight e3, and if I get the chance, I will push this pawn, or maybe this, or he can also come on f4 square, sorry, knight e6, knight d5, and knight f4 can be played. So I was kind of satisfied with this position. If he had gone back, means both sides are fighting in that position. But to my surprise, he played one unbelievable move, by which what to say, he said like one of the biggest blunders of his life until now. He played queen g6 check, and I was thinking, what, he is giving up the queen for what? I thought like I'm getting checkmated for one movement, but then I said like, okay, no, I'm not getting checkmated, and still we need to make 10 moves, so it's not over. So I was having 1.5 minute, I was thinking, and he played this move. Here I was almost about to play king h7, and then I realized that initially I thought like he doesn't have anything. I'm just going to play knight e3 check, and then I'm going to capture on g4. I'll just capture on e6. But then suddenly I saw rook 8, and after rook 8, I don't have anything. If I give the check in this position, he will move the king here. I don't have any more checks. I cannot capture here, because rook h8 is going to be a check and mate. And if I capture on e6, that is also not that good, because I cannot capture back on e6, because very simple checkmate is there, means I will be losing the queen, and it is just a checkmate. And what to do? If I give this check, then he can play king f2, and I don't have any more checks, and still the threats are there, rook f7 and all. I was so much scared here what to do. Then I suddenly realized, oh, why can't I just capture the rook here with the queen, and I'm just 2 pawns up. And once I captured it, it was 31 moves, and I was having 1 minute or something, and then 9 moves I just kept on playing very fast. And once I reached the 30th mark, okay, we repeated the position for a while, but then I said like, okay, you can capture the pawn anyhow. I got 3 extra pawns on the board. If he captures here rook f6, he has to exchange the rooks, because if he goes back in the position, then knight d4, and he will be losing the bishop on f3 because 2 pieces are attacking on it. So obviously he did not go for the g6 pawn. He played king g3, but then I saved everything. I said like, okay, if you want to capture g6 pawn, you can capture, but I'm going to get the pawn on b2. After the series of checks here, I got the pawn on b2. Now I'm just 3 pawns up. It is just a matter of technique. That was very easy. I gave a check, knight f4 came, and I started pushing my pawn forward. So here in this position, the knight was doing wonders. It was not allowing him to give any kind of checks from anywhere, and he played h4 in desperation. I said like, okay, if my king lands on e3 square, then it will be a check and mate, because the king is kind of surrounded from everywhere. Rook b1 check, and he should not be getting this f2 square. So I played king d4, he played bishop d1. I was again thinking a little bit in this position. I said like, okay, I can just simply play this move, because even if he gives me a check here in this case, I can simply go here and there is no more checks, so it is just lost. And after rook b1 king e3, I played king e3, king e1 king e3, and now again it's lost. Like if he plays this move, stopping my d2 move, then I can just simply capture here, and the h pawn will be flying here. And if he stops the h pawn, then of course it is just lost, because check here and then rook captures d1. So because of this reason, as he was completely helpless after king to e3, my opponent resigned. Very frustrating thing for him, I will say. I was happy to play this interesting game, that too in the Najdorf opening. uh, what to say, tomorrow is another day, another game I will fight, and fortune favors the brave, as this I will say. Like, I'm just lucky today. I was completely lucky. I will not take the any kind of credit in winning this game. It was, but I will say like I tricked my opponent, sacrificing the bishop, playing g5. All those moves kind of baffled him, and because of that sudden sacrifices, he made a mistake, I think so. So do like the video, share this video with your friends also, and do subscribe to my channel if you are new here. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.